Hi, my name is Lorena, and if you're struggling with the Elden Ring boss Starscourge Radahn, then this is the video for you. I believe that anyone can learn how to beat a difficult boss without a cheap cheese if you just focus, be a little patient with yourself, and of course, listen to my foolproof tips that will guarantee you to overcome even the most seemingly impossibly difficult bosses. Let's get into it. Starting with preparations. Radahn is slightly weaker to pierce damage, but that's not enough to change your build just for that. Other than that, he doesn't have a specific weakness. Just make sure you do not use holy damage, because that's his highest resistance. It also goes without saying that you can upgrade your weapon pretty high before facing him, with high-level upgrade stones being available all around the map before fighting Radahn becomes mandatory. Just check the Fextra Life wiki, they have a very great list of upgrade item locations if you feel like your damage is too weak. Now, big question, do you summon the guys or not? There is ups and downsides to it. The good thing is you can resummon them after they've died as many times as you want. And they can chip the boss down by themselves if you leave them alone. Especially in phase 1, they can get him to phase 2 alone, if you just wait it out. However, that might take a good while. And another downside is that in phase 2, it would take them much longer, because they'll die very quickly to his super strong attacks. But the biggest downside is that you will have zero control over the fight as opposed to you doing it alone. Because alone you can bait out one specific attack over and over again consistently and deal massive damage to him in just a short time frame. But with the summons, he very rarely, if not at all, does the attack, since it's a gap closer that he uses when you're far away. Also, I would suggest not going near him at all when the summons are up, because his attacks are frequent and really hard to dodge, and by staying close and trying to weave in some hits on Torrent, you're honestly doing yourself more harm than good. Either way, because of this, you might even be faster without the summons, but at the end of the day, it's all personal preference. Try both methods and see which one you like more. I recommend you try to do it alone though, it's a lot more fun. Okay, let's go. Here's a trick. Immediately as soon as you enter the teleporter, ready your button combination or whatever you have to summon Torrent, and immediately press it while holding down on the left stick to make sure Torrent summons while running. To be safe, just stop pressing it when the screen is still black and you're good. Sprint in a straight line back, and now not even the first arrow will hit you. Radahn will despawn and aim somewhere else now, so thankfully you don't have to deal with his extremely annoying barrage of arrows. His AI is very weird here, and depending on factors I don't really understand, he can still aim at you even after despawning if you, for example, use items to buff up here. But you can be extra safe by just sprinting back for a little further and then turning around again, and this will always work. Now here comes the safe strat. It's gonna be running away on Torrent to bait out only a single specific attack to be extra foolproof and safe. At the start of the fight, it's even guaranteed that he will do it. Stay at around this much distance to him. He will either do this attack, where he does a short jump off his horse, which you do not want, so just run away at this distance again, and he should now do the other attack. This is the only attack that you want to bait out by always running away, and he will do it very often. He actually stomps his poor horsey into the ground. What a freaking monster. Spreads his arms wide and then leaps forward and does many slams with his weapons. The timing doesn't have to be perfect, but you do need to react fairly quickly to it. It's super easy to see it coming though, by just looking for when he crosses his weapons in front of his face like this, then spreads them out super wide to the side like this, and at the same moment, his poor horsey also gets stomped into the ground. Just pay attention, and as soon as you see this, you simply sprint directly towards him, jump off, don't worry, he won't hit you, and you can even do a hit midair. You want to land right below him. You will not get hit by any of his attacks like this. Now, attack once or twice depending on your weapon speed, then reposition a little bit just by walking a small step forward. Then attack again and reposition slightly one last time. Just make sure you stay underneath him. This attack is super long and you have plenty of time for hits. At the end of the combo, he will drag his swords up like this and go back to normal position. Just make sure you do not get hit by the swords when he drags them up. You can quickly summon Torrent again and immediately sprint away. In the middle of phase 1, he will buff up his weapons with gravitational magic, which adds some more ouchie to his attacks. From then on, you'll have to be a little more careful. For this one attack, at the end when he finishes, when he drags his sword across the ground and then up, he does a shockwave, which will hit you if you do not roll through it. It's worth to learn the timing to make sure you don't lose out on a lot of extra damage by staying underneath to hit him. You just need to know the shockwave is really delayed here. Don't be tempted to roll through the actual movement of his weapons going up, because they won't hit you if you're close enough. But the shockwave is delayed and starts spreading after his weapons have already left the ground. So try to dodge right afterwards, like this. Just think about how you want to dodge a little later than your reflexes are telling you. Alternatively, you can circle directly behind him just before he'll do it to avoid having to dodge at all, because the shockwave is only spreading in front of him. He also adds an attack with orbs that fly towards you. As soon as you see him cast the orbs, run a little bit backwards, and as soon as they start flying, just sprint directly sideways to dodge them easily. Now, as soon as his HP bar reaches a little bit under half HP, you know he will charge and then jump up to enter phase 2. Stand completely still and just look at the sky in the direction you're facing. As soon as he shows up, you don't need Torrent at all, just run straight to the side. Immediately after the impact, run towards him and get behind his horse. He will jump up and slam down once in front of him, which won't hit you if you're positioned here, and you can get more free hits. It looks really scary, but he actually takes so long buffing up here. Stay really close and wait until he finishes the buffing with having his arms raised high. After this, he can do any attack, so make sure you get out in time. Then from now on, it's just repeating the exact same strategy like in phase 1. Now for some help on dodging his very scary attacks. He sprints on his horse away from you, roars upwards and throws his hands up. He then crosses his weapons before him and then shoots the big comets at you. If you just sprint straight sideways, they'll miss you. After this, as soon as he jumps up into the air, run a bit backwards and wait until he leaps towards you. As soon as he hits the ground, double jump over the shockwave towards him. The bit of running back before is just to build some more distance to make the timing easier. He can also do this attack in phase 1. By the way, it's just less scary without the comets. And lastly, he has one super extremely scary but very rare attack where he dashes and drills through the air. As soon as you see him start levitating like this, immediately sprint straight backwards for the first one, and then as soon as he's up in the air again, make a 90-degree turn and sprint straight sideways to dodge it. And that's it! You don't need to know anything else. Alright, that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope I could help you out. If yes, make sure to let me know in the comments. Again, subscribe if you like me, catch me live on Twitch, check out all my other videos. I've done a bunch of crazy stupid challenge runs like playing all the From Software games on a dance pad. And of course, liking the video and commenting literally anything really helps the algorithm to get me discovered. So if you want to help me out, that would be cool. Alright, see you guys. Bye!